What's cracking, party people? It's your favorite TSA agent here to show you how I personally ship my cards out on eBay for less than $1.50. Well, technically, I maybe pay like 25 cents, and that's purely in just materials. And even then, that may be stretching it. And I'll explain how I do that throughout this process. So I just sold this QCR, Flew to the Summoning Dragon, on eBay to a wonderful gentleman by the name of John. And I thought I would go through how I typically pack orders up, what I do, what my process is like, etc. So, first, I start off with an envelope. And this is important. I do this every single time. See where this pull tab is that you rip off? This is really more important if you're shipping off like multiple orders, like I do at a time. Ninjask, Snipe Hunter for Xavier. When you seal this, there is no way to open it back up without having to redo all the work that you just did. So make sure that you have something on it before you have an eBay label on it, printed off and everything. Make sure you have just something like this that's not on the actual letter, because you're not really supposed to have any information aside from the shipping information on the envelope itself. Just have something like this as a little reminder to know, like, oh, this is going to John, this is going to Xavier, so that you don't accidentally mix orders up and then either have to tear your own envelopes open to see what you packed up, or accidentally ship John's stuff to Xavier and Xavier's stuff to John. Just save yourself a little headache. Very easy to do. Just take a pencil, write it on the fucking rip label, and then by the time you're actually putting the envelope shipping information on there, you don't need that anymore. First thing that I do usually is I will see what the size of the envelope is. And this does not matter very much. You can ship in envelope sizes that are this big, this big, this big, this literal size of the card. I mean, you can ship envelopes in whatever size. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect the price of shipping. If you're shipping the same way that I do, which is on eBay, I don't know about other shipping methods, you can select an option if you are selling trading cards that is called eBay Standard Envelope Shipping, and it is $1.25. And when you're selling trading cards on eBay, always have buyer pay shipping, so you don't have to eat that cost. Because if your store is anything like mine, most of the stuff on my store is like $2 to $3 a piece, you know, like just very small trading cards that are not an incredibly high demand. Stuff like this, you know, maybe a common card from an old set, or a holographic card from a more recent set, or something like that. Like, I have a lot of stuff that is not incredibly valuable. So if I'm paying the $1.25 shipping cost, that's like half of the money of that entire order, and that's not even mentioning eBay fees yet. So have the buyer pay shipping. It's only $1.25, especially if you're selling small items like this. And eBay will only charge you $1.25 for anything under 20 bucks. I think if there's anything over that, I think you may have to move to Ground Advantage or whatever, but we're not talking about that today. I'm just assuming you're selling relatively low-priced cards on eBay. So the first thing I do is I find out what the size of the envelope that I'm using is, and I will take 2 pieces of paper and cut them to that rough size. So I will cut this paper vertically like this. And this is not the way to pack cards on eBay. This is my way. This is like a way. There is no correct way of shipping cards. Something that I've found from ordering, I don't know, maybe roughly 50 to 75 cards. I'm not talking about like individual singles over the past few months, is that no two people ship cards the same way. So it's a learning experience. You'll find a method that works for you. This is just a method that I found that works for me. So that seems like the right size. So what I do with the first one. Now, typically what people will do is they will take a small piece of tape. I had a small orange roll of masking tape somewhere that I'm not finding. I'll go ahead and just use a small piece of this. What people will do as a small precautionary method when they're shipping cards, and this is kind of like, I assume you all know this already, when you're shipping a trading card, at a bare minimum, it needs to be in a sleeve first, the sleeve right there, penny sleeve, it's totally fine, and then in a top loader. Top loader is fine. These are also fine. The thing is, though, with eBay standard envelope shipping, your envelope has to be flexible. I'm not saying that the person who's delivering your mail is going to take your card and go whoosh, but it has to be able to flex. If you take in an envelope, a trading card to ship, and you're using eBay standard envelope shipping, and you go to your local post office, and that thing is super rigid and they can't bend it, they will not ship it for you. So just keep that in mind, because I've had that happen to me before, and I've had to eat like a $5-6 shipping cost on top of that, because I didn't realize that if you're using eBay standard envelope, it has to flex. It doesn't have to bend. It just has to, it doesn't have to, rigidly bend, but it has to flex. That's the only rule, really. So what we just did is we took a small piece of tape, and I suggest using masking tape, shipping tape. Don't use Scotch tape, especially the really sticky stuff. I see people ship cards to me all the time in top loaders where they use extremely sticky adhesive tape for this, and by the time I get it off, even if I use the tape to like pull the adhesive back up, they've ruined the top loader. It's like there's always going to be a disgusting, sticky line right here where that tape was. If you're using this kind of packing tape, if you're using masking tape, if you're using painter's tape, all of those will be fine. Those stick on and hold very well, but they also, when you pull them off, there's not like a ridiculous gummy adhesive under there. But what we just did is we just closed the top of this top loader so that no matter what happens in shipping, this card is not falling out of the top loader, because you don't want this thing to come halfway through shipping and then a little bit of the card come out and it bend against the edge of this top loader. That is not something that you want to happen. Just a very small precaution that can literally save your entire order from having to be refunded or shipped back to you or whatever. It's a tiny fucking piece of tape, probably less than a cent right there. Next, what I do is I take the card, and this isn't like origami or anything. I don't have like a very specific method of how I do this. I make a small fold on the bottom, fold the card up, make some folds along the sides. I'm not trying to crush the card in there or anything. I'm just trying to kind of create a kind of tight seal around the card. So these right here are the edges of the card. But if I were to just ship it like this, the card would still move from left to right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold either side across, like that. Take a small piece of tape. This tape is being a tiny bit unruly right now, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We are shipping a, let's see, $4.50 card with $1.25 shipping right now, so it's not the hugest deal in the world. We're not shipping a fucking PSA $10,000 Charizard card, but we do want to take care of every single order as if it were. I'm just saying, the look of your tape does not matter that much. This is not the important part. But look, this thing, no matter what happens to it in shipping, this thing's not coming out of the top loader. It's not moving. There's no damage that's going to be done to this. Even if it flexes a little bit, even if it, it's not, nothing is going to happen to this card. This is pretty essential. This will add an extra layer of protection against rain, against bending, against, whatever. It is a tiny piece of fucking ruled college paper. You can get a fucking pack of this from Goodwill for $0.25. Just do it. It's so cheap. Now, the second thing that I do, this is optional, but in my opinion, not necessarily optional. So the gentleman that ordered from our store today, his name is John. So I always like to start off by saying hello, and then use the name that they use in their shipping. So hello, John. I'm not going to dox my man John today, but I always like to start off like this. Hello, John. Thanks for supporting my eBay store. And this step right here, you could do this on, you could type this up, print it off, whatever. This is the cheapest, easiest way of doing this, and customers love this shit. I can't tell you how frequently that I open trading cards in the mail and it's just like bare minimum, here's an envelope, top loader, everything, and the card. It's like, sweet. I mean, business done. We did everything. We transaction completed. But when I open something that somebody shipped me with a handwritten note, with a, an extra card that I didn't even order, with a sticker in it, it's like, I'm going to shop from them again. They put a little bit of extra effort in when they didn't need to. And that little bit, like, really matters. So, grab a fucking pencil. Write a little handwritten note. This person just gave you like $5 for an order. You can write something real quick. Hey, John, thanks for supporting my eBay store. I just pulled this card in the last few days, so it should be in great condition. I really hope that it got to you safely. I hope to do business again in the future, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Josh. This right here, this will separate you from 99.9% of eBay sellers. And something that took you 30 seconds can mean the absolute world to somebody. Let me read you something that I got on my eBay the other day that just absolutely made my day. Where is this? Messages. I had sold this person, I believe it was I want to say a Venusaur card? No, it was a Torterra card. And he said to me, he sent me a picture of this card that I'd sold him in the binder after he had received it and everything. And he messaged and he said, "Hey Josh, just wanted to let you know that I received the card in perfect condition. I appreciate the note. I've been working on collecting all of my favorite cards from that era. Here's a picture of the card in its new home. I pulled the Torterra at top middle when I was a kid as well. Thanks again. The note made my day. I've actually gone ahead and tucked your note behind the top loader so that it will always have that sentiment attached to it." Isn't that the sweetest fucking thing you've ever heard, dude? That was a goddamn piece of paper that took me 30 seconds to write, and that's the effect that it had on somebody. That card was $4. But I give the exact same treatment to somebody who buys a $4 card on my store to the person that buys a $900 model kit. Because every single person who supports your store, you should be very grateful for that, They didn't have to shop with you. They could have shopped with anybody else. Especially if you're charging above market, you need to provide that person an above market experience. You know what I'm saying? Now the final step to this, all you need to do from here, and you can do this in a lot of different ways. If you have a printer at home, you're all set. You're just going to go on eBay, purchase your label, print it off, and it will give you a rectangular shaped piece of paper. You just cut it out and then tape it to the front of your envelope. You go to your local post office, drop it down, and there's nothing. You just hand it to them. They don't make you sign anything. They don't ask you, for ID or who's this for or anything. You have that shipping label already printed off. You don't have to do anything. You've already paid for everything. You walk into the post office with that label, hand it to the clerk, and you walk out. That's it. Love it. It's awesome. I don't have a printer at home, unfortunately. So what I typically do is, luckily, I'm a college student who is in classes all the time. So I use my school computers all the time, and I waste their ink by printing my eBay labels there. You can do the same thing at your local library, I'm sure. I don't know if they charge. I'm sure that most libraries wouldn't charge you for using black and white ink, which is all you need. You don't need anything fancy. But that is the entire process right there. This would be the exact process if I was shipping out, maybe a $40 card or a $2 card. This is what I do every single time. And if it is something that's actually like a more expensive card, I will put even more care into it. I had somebody buy like a $50 Blastoise card for me a little bit ago, and I actually drew Blastoise for them on the card. It probably took me 15 minutes to draw, but I was like, that was $50, man, for this one card from my childhood. I can totally fucking, show some love to this person. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share my process. Key takeaways here. Your envelope can, look, this, they will accept this, okay? They're not going to bend this to the point of like, and the reason why I say that is because, like I said, I have ordered 50 to 75 cards recently in the mail. Every single one of them I have received, and they have not had no damage in transit. They've been perfect. This is all you need to do. I used to put Ziploc bags around here. I used to put cardboard in here. Do not put cardboard in here. If you are using eBay standard envelope, do not go the cardboard route. They will reject it at the post office. It just needs to flex a little bit. It doesn't need to bend, but it just needs to flex. Just keep that in mind if you're using the $1.25 shipping. So, if you followed everything, if you have some masking painter's tape, if you have envelopes of literally any size, if you have some copy paper, some ruled paper, literally anything, pencil, optional, the buyer's already paid for shipping, print your label off, you've basically paid nothing to ship that card off. All of those materials you can buy in bulk for like $1 a piece. So once you have these materials, it is essentially free to ship your cards out. But yeah, that's my process. I hope you all learned something from it if you're all brand new. And if not, then I hope you all just saw my interesting way of how I personally pack cards. And yeah, also, like I said, really put some personal love and care into your stuff. It can really make a person's day. And that kind of feedback on your store looks awesome. You really need stuff like that on your store page. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Peace.